the doors to the doors to the Wildworth building central office lab. We're gonna assume it's one of those nice corporate office with the oval inside of it with like the projector screens and all of that stuff. Most of that stuff really isn't on or used. It just happens to be a number of different people that are collaborating inside of it. And as they burst through, and they are summarily dismissed from a very heated conversation and meeting.
Ken, who has likely been talked down by now, storms out of the room, back down to where he's allowed to be, on the guest floor, because he's already been told in no uncertain terms that really the other parts of the building are off limits to him without an appropriate, how do you say this, host, watcher, chaperone. There we go. Whole brain's turning again. Storms right back down to the guest level that he has been allowed to exist in thus far. Goes from there through the entire wonderfully posh room. Very well repaired since their last spate with unexpected visitors. Goes out to the balcony, the very same balcony, and lights a cigarette.
Conrad, for his part, seems to be taking it rather well because he hasn't died, despite the slight frenzy. He's not allowed up there either, so he heads back down to the guest level. Oop, we just lost our hoster.
He'll be back.
All right.
I mean, unless you're planning on doing something that requires his call.
No problem. All right, so welcome back. He heads down to the guest level and kind of takes a seat on one of the couches, pulls up a magazine, looks at it briefly. It's more resigned than anything else. It's like he's gotten this reaction before, and he's more just tired of it than anything else. It's like at least this time he didn't get any bruises.
That point, with no outside distractions, Ken, as he's smoking a cigarette, looks in a very, very specific direction. It's almost like he's remembering a trajectory, the way his eyes track. After he's done doing that, i.e., when he's done with the cigarette, he puts it out and, having thoroughly snuffed it out, goes back inside, leaving the ash like a totally inconsiderate person. Just hoping for the wind to blow it away, really. And because I don't believe there are any ashtrays, given that Tomi has banned smoking inside, he dumps the cigarette butt in a trash can. I mean, having really snuffed it out to make sure that he isn't going to start an unfortunate trash can related fire. Don't need another safety briefing on that one. He just kind of stands there. It's very creepy the way he just kind of stands there. And then he looks at Conrad.
Conrad looks back. Just kind of raises an eyebrow.
The next time you do something like that, I'll fucking smile kill you. And with that pithy remark, he rights himself and begins to exit the area.
Not even curious as to why?
His response to this remark is to, without looking back, loft one of his hands and gracefully flip the bird.
Meh. He just seems kind of used to this, like, well, could have been worse, but kind of expected it.
From there, if unopposed, can boards the elevator. Is not exactly, you know what, I'll actually roll it. Dice stream, you and my friend. I'm gonna roll current instead of permanent. He's completely unmoved by your soothing elevator music. Completely. And once he gets back down to really the only other level that he is allowed to ever traverse, he makes his way through, and if he has to use an appropriate code, he will. He's likely done this shtick before. But he exits the building, lights another cigarette. It's a terrible habit people never start. And begins to make his way down the block without the use of a taxi.
Sort of reminds you of that time you almost walked out in front.
I know, right? It's almost like he has these memories about taxis that he dislikes now, irrationally, of course.
Okay. I'm going to put a pinprick on that for a second. As, from inside the towers, actually not far away from the man over there who seems to got a lot of ire, or as it were. So that's a man with a cloth over his head, cloth over one of his eyes. He's responding to something in his hand. Yeah, I was there. Cough, cough, cough. Sullivan.
Sorry, I was sending a response.
He's like, yeah, look, I'm behind you.
Wait, like, I'm confused. Is he on the street or is he in the building?
He's been behind you this entire fuck off time.
Oh, and he just now dropped his arcane. Okay. Or drew attention to himself. He's just like, oh, hey, how do you do that? I mean, people don't notice me, but they literally are blind to you.
Not my problem. Anyways. So I'm just gonna sit here, wait for you to tell me what's going on.
Oh. Well, you could probably look it up if you dug a little bit, but yeah. I have this X.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an X.
That's what exes are, Conrad. I'm
No.
not sure how many relationships you've been through before and how many of them are still alive.
No. She was an XEX, and now she's an XX. IT-X.
She's in the IT firm, or she was in the IT firm. She's now moved on to botany.
Don't you know anything about the Kratts?
I don't know, but if one were to know something about one's
Always pays to know
associates'
your
work,
enemies.
wouldn't they, in fact, try not to bring undue attention to themselves that they, in fact, they do know something they should not be knowing?
There's nothing wrong with knowing it. They collect info on us. We can collect info on them, and our group's actually known for that.
Okay. Have you ever seen a James Bond movie?
Uh, yeah, sure. I liked Sean Connery.
Okay, okay. That's very, very, very good. James Bond is single-handedly the worst fucking spy in existence. You wanna know why?
Because everything turns into a gunfight?
That, and everyone knows he's a fucking spy. It's not even haphazardly known. He's not subtle about it. He walks into a situation and almost practically declared outright, "Oh my God, it's James Bond. I'm here for Queen and Crown."
So he's less of a spy and more of a assassin, and not even a subtle one.
Very, very. So yes, yes. So I want
Okay.
to ask you: does James Bond openly talk about his connections?
No, but I kind of suck at lying,
Yeah.
and I
Okay.
don't like lying to people I'm trying to get along with.
Do you tell your parents everything?
They're dead, but no,
Did you tell your parents everything when they were alive?
no, no. I was answering your question. No.
Okay, then. Aren't there certain things that people don't really have to know in order to have a continued nice existence?
That's
You
why I
know,
didn't go around it. That's
like,
why
like,
I. Nah.
like maybe not tell everyone you could fry their faces off with a click of your finger. Maybe not tell the people that you really, really trust that you're knee deep in a dark ops operation that could kill you and get them seriously honored. You don't tell people that you're committing treason when you're committing treason.
I think treason's a strong word, but I get your point. To be fair, I didn't want to. I felt my options back in that room were basically lie to everyone and say, "No, of course I didn't say anything," and they'd probably know it instantly, which would not look good on my end. Or B, tell them the truth in this case. I mean, if I knew how to lie effectively, sure, I could have done that hypothetically, but eh.
Okay, okay. So I gotta tell you, who is the weak link here? Who is the weak link between this whole?
The guy
How
who
did
doesn't know how to lie.
if, if you want to say that, I'm not gonna tell you the answer I see, but it's, how did people find out that you made the connection? How did people find it out?
Because of the person I told. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I'm not happy with her myself.
Hmm. Okay, okay. You could just jump ship.
Yeah, no, I didn't take that option years ago, and I wouldn't take it now. Don't I don't want to have my brain any further restructured.
So,
A couple days of 101 was enough for me.
okay. Remember that thing I told you about playing dumb about things that you do know, but you don't want other people to know that you know. Oh, so they don't look at you funny.
They already know that I know shit, but fine, fine.
So, Don't show people your entire hand. It's a very bad way to go about it. I mean, what the hell did you even say?
She'll show you the text. Let me just copy paste it. Here, I'm going to copy paste it in here. Sorry. One solid thing, so. Pasting as fast as I can.
Excuse me. Okay, first off, remember that thing I keep telling you about handing people information they don't really need to know?
The thing you told me 3 times so far, yes.
And how you've broken that idiom like 3 different times now?
Not since you told me at the beginning of this. Well, yes, no, I have. Shit.
Yes, you have.
Okay, yes.
Well, it's good to know this information. Click, 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 click. Do a wits technology click real quick.
Trying to see where that. Oh, I think I've got Tech 3.
Computers would also work, but specifically technology.
Computers is 3 also, so.
Well, there you go, sir.
Okay. Difficulty 6.
Yeah, difficulty 6.
3 successes.
Okay, he's about to transfer this information to an offshore. He's about to transfer this information to something else. You got like a good 10 seconds to stop him.
How would I stop him is the question. No. I'm asking, how would I do that? The character would probably know some way of doing this. I, out of character, don't know how he would do it.
I am counting down on my fingers. Give me a response.
Could you stop that for a second or pause it?
No, I can't because I'm giving you time. You
No,
have.
I'm saying he's saying that to him.
He's like, and he's just gonna go ahead and start ignoring you. Do, 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 do.
I don't even know how I would actually stop that. I have Wi-Fi, but I don't even know what he's transferring or how or. Dude, in real life, I'm not IT, so I don't know what I would do in this situation. Like, nothing, dude. I don't know. So
I will give you the answer now. You could have slapped the phone out of his hands.
I didn't know he was holding his phone.
You gave him the phone.
No, I showed it to him. I didn't say I handed it over to him physically. I said I showed it to him.
Okay, I'm gonna do you friend. Family haver. Do with do a dexterity technology difficulty 8. 8. If you're quick enough, you can yank the phone out of his hand.
Okay. 2 successes.
I say difficulty 8.
Oh. 0 successes.
It's like, so you fill your hand, but he's more or less able to.
So what did you just transfer that to and why?
My personal vault.
Dude, you already have enough blackmail on me that you basically own me. What'd you need that for?
Oh, you think I own you? That's very cute. Cute.
Well, I don't exactly have your collar on me, but
Okay. I'm gonna keep this information safe in case I want to reference it or need it later. All the way. Thanks for your ex's number. Is she hot?
yes.
He's like, pretty boy has a pretty girlfriend. Nice.
I didn't say she was as hot as me.
Mm-hmm. What happened? You need to get in contact with someone who is good with robots. Maybe I can do a joint partnership. Yeah, I have shit I can throw at this problem. So, question: have you started to learn your lesson yet?
Don't trust anyone.
Trust me. It's like pretty much you got the basic idea down. Now you got to figure out how to trust people without having to trust people.
Better idea. How about? It'd be better if I just found a way to lie to people, but I don't really think that's going to happen easily.
It's like, you know what? You know what, Conrad? I think I have something for you. You know, it's a fair good of trading of information, as it were. He actually pulled something out of his back pocket. Yeah, I didn't think I'd actually need this, but he pulls out what seems to be an anthology, rather nice looking set of books. Books, on the cover is anthologies of Sherlock Holmes stories.
Hmm.
Squared away with one or two different paperbacks of James Bond. You know, the good old ones with
Wait.
Boy Scout James Bond.
And he just pulled these out of his ass, literally.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm always up for a good read. I've got some time, so.
Subtlety. Subtlety is a lesson. If you have two choices to either do something blatantly or do something subtly, which one should you do?
Subtly. I
Not
get
gonna.
the concept. I just suck at it right now. I'm willing to try and make it better. I'm under no illusions as to my skill in that matter right now.
Learn.
I intend to.
Read and learn.
So who? So now I gotta ask you. I'm curious. So why? I get them trying to extort a favor over this whole thing. That part I get. You know, they're dicks. I probably should have expected that. But what I don't get is, or well, if I had to guess, I'd say at this point they're not going to do a damn thing unless it becomes a crisis. If I had to like try and poke a positive out of this whole situation, which is damned hard, at least now they're aware of something that could be a problem in the future and will be able to fix it if we don't.
Okay. Here's your terminal flaw in this situation. You got to the Pacifics way too early. He says, actually bringing the text back. Heck, you stipulated a group. You could have stipulated a person. You could stipulate an individual with different individuals. You could have used different slogans or jargons or spacey code. Oh, do you want to know why people use slang and code and shit like that?
Because it's harder to prove what they were talking about.
Exactly. It's hard for other people to drop in and know what's talking either. That's why they're iron mages and not vampires. That's why they're ectomorphic entities and not shape changers. That's why they're rogue AI and not devils.
Actually, I kind of like the. I think either one of those terms would work, but okay, I get what you're saying.
It's doublethink, man. Doublethink and doublethink.
I've heard of double talking. Again, I haven't really practiced it much, but I get the concept.
And besides, you don't need anyone to do this. Just
I just
you may
was
need
hoping.
to.
I was hoping they would just quietly fix it because that's
Oh God.
their area.
You tried to pull a spirit out of this, didn't you?
What?
Okay. This is how you deal with the AIs of the world, and sometimes this is how you deal with other things, people as well. Here's how you deal with an AI. You gotta give it something it likes out of tribute, then guarantee it a favor later. This is what people don't understand. AIs aren't free. You gotta pay them.
How did you know I was interested? Should not have confirmed that. Should not have confirmed that. God damn it. At least I'm learning when I make my mistakes quicker now.
It's like, use all this thing you like. It makes the adventure more interesting.
All right. Well, yeah. Actually, we've been talking about AI recently, so it might be good to look into that more. But anyways, okay. So, um, yeah. Like I said, I'll give these a read and try and pick up the basics. No guarantees, but um, yeah.
It's like, try not to die and try to make sure that this incident doesn't get to many people's ears.
That's as far as my control in that venue goes. Sure, I have virtually none. But yeah,
I've heard of people jumping ship both ways. It's interesting. Have you ever
it's
seen
kind
one
of
of those old pirate movies? The one with Flint something other with a very boyish
General
looking.
Flint.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, how they're
Yeah.
jumping on the ropes, swinging this way and that way.
Yes. I don't. Here's the problem, though. I have no intention of doing that because, well, among other reasons, people who do that, from my understanding, don't really retain free will. Not in the sense that you or I would. I mean, the thing, he kind of like taps his head. The way that thing was designed, if it were working the way it's supposed to work, I wouldn't have a choice in the matter. I'd be a nice, loyal drone.
Okay. I'm gonna give you
And
this little nugget. He says as he's actually going to over to his over to what looks to be a discarded lab coat, as it were, or putting one sleeve in the next. And as he's putting the sleeves in the next and adjusting the collar, you do notice that you find yourself fading. It's like there's supposed to be someone here. You're talking to someone. He's right over there. He's talking to you right now, actually. Yeah, they has this feeling of being alone again and starts to creep inwards little by little by little by little.
can I make a willpower check to keep my attention focused on him? I mean, I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
literally talking to him. Okay. Or spend one or roll it.
Yeah, I'll let you roll it.
Okay. What is my actual willpower? Shit. It should be 5 or 6. 6. Difficulty 6.
Yeah, go ahead.
2 successes.
Okay, for the moment you have you're with the use of the voice and triangling it, you're able to get a hold of his current location.
But not easily.
It's like you're trying to look through a fog that isn't there for some odd reason.
Well, that answers one of my questions, but you were saying.
Not everything the technology does is evil or
Dude, I
wrong
know that.
or isn't necessary.
Dude, I know that. If I thought that, I wouldn't even have any contact. I would just be like giving that information to someone else who would drop a frickin', I don't know, carpet bomb or something. You get what I'm saying.
Who are you
I
talking
wouldn't
to?
have. Make another roll, damn it. The dice are still with me. 3 successes.
You're now currently talking to a couch.
Do you
But you
leave
do
the?
hear off in the distance a closing of a door.
I'll text him then. Just be like, if I thought they were like that, I wouldn't have any contact at all. I know some of them are complete assholes. I would eventually like to get Violet back. She didn't used to be like she is now, but I don't have anywhere near the skill to reprogram her, so to speak.
Okay,
That's
okay.
rather a gargantuan task.
There's a spark of magic in the air, as immediately in your frontal position, there's a sky burn of someone that seems. You know skywriting, right?
Huh?
You know
Skywriting? You mean
skywriting.
like the?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
yes.
things with the jets and all. Well, that's
Yeah.
happening right in front of you. You know, try doing jobs for both. And immediately, the sky burn that burned very, very brightly with a little bit of orange dissipates into white cloud, and the dissipation of the wording then disperses as well. Not
Okay.
firing any smoke detectors.
Sends one more text. All right. While we're on the topic of businesses and jobs, what's the cost for giving me a lesson in mind if you've got the skill?
And that we will leave for another day.
Fair enough. Blue booking.
Like, you get anything, Austin?
I might have a thing. Hey, Ken,
So,
you know how the Vigilant Tower usually is just a short hop skipping away from that fantastic noodle shop?
typically.
You know how that noodle shop just keeps coming up every so often as a place to be?
Yeah.
You know how there's this really, really strange alarm clock that always seems to manifest when things are appropriate?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of that noodle shop, there is that flashing alarm clock.
They're still open at this hour?
No. The sign goes ahead and says closed, but that alarm clock is right there. The alarm clock says open. The sign says closed.
So the sign says closed. Is the alarm clock inside of the building?
Yes, it is.
Given that he can see it from where he is without breaking and entering, since he's already had one bad day with a camera in a restaurant,
Mhm.
he peers in and stares at it from where he is.
As you go ahead and peer in, while the front shop face is mostly dark, you can definitely tell that there is one light that is coming from the kitchen, and there seems to be a man sitting at a table.
Interesting. Is he near the clock?
Um, he seems to be aware of the clock.
At that point, Ken, being the creature of obstinance that he is, actually motions for the man to come to him instead of attempting to very possibly breach into what is private property.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. The man, noticing your attention, is going to go ahead and hop up from where he's sitting. Apparently, he's got a very, very nice meal in front of him. He goes to the front door of the establishment where the sign clearly says close. You can hear the jingle jangle of keys as he goes ahead and opens it.
Hey, this is gonna sound weird. Is that your clock?
He goes ahead and nods.
Okay. Is there any particular reason why it's just sitting there I know this is weird, man.
Because I placed it there.
Okay. Oh. And you can tell Ken is struggling for a way to address this. Do you mind if I come in?
Absolutely. Come on in. What do you usually like? He says as he opens the door a little bit wider.
Well, having been invited into this place, usually I just go for the chef special.
Ah, awesome. Because I made sure to order it, he says, pointing over at the table with the one light overhead.
Ken kind of cocks his head to the side for a moment, but at this point, he seems rather acceptant, if only because of the guiding light that is the alarm clock.
Mm-hmm. The man is going to go ahead and return back to his seat, take a, he seems to have a plate of chow mein in front of him with some beef as he goes ahead and digs into it with a fork. And he sort of just looks at you, gestures for you to go ahead and take a seat.
Ken does take a seat.
So, how you been? It's been a while.
Ken quirks a brow. Pardon me, but I hate to say this, but I don't think I remember us meeting.
You remember the alarm clock?
I do. It's and it's kind of an old style, but I remember having one when I was younger.
And where did that clock take you?
A lot of different places. Do I know you?
You know parts of me at least.
Ooh. Oh, this is really setting, especially since there's just like a physical suit involved. From under the table, Ken begins fiddling with his good old-fashioned instrument because it's time for the Mage's best friend, Prime Side.
Yay!
Okay, rolling it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 6, I believe. Okay, even without the use of the instrument, that would have been a win. So, Prime Sight is now up.
The alarm is aglow with power. The man before you is aglow with power.
Yeah. Oh. I thought you were beyond this.
You are not talking to him, you are talking to a piece of him. He is very curious about you at the moment.
Look, I'm flattered, but I'm not that interesting.
My dear man, you say that you're not very interesting, but you have been in many pivotal points in the weave in Fate without pretty much doing much of anything.
Yeah. Look, end of the day, I know that perhaps my faith isn't as common in this particular part of the globe, but I'm just another monk amongst many. Try to shepherd people along the path, preach what I can preach, take things one day at a time.
And you should keep doing that. Nothing that you are doing right now is contradictory to your your most wonderful potential. I just wanted to check in and see how you were doing to make sure you were still on the path.
Oh yeah, road to enlightenment, escaping samsara, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can tell. There's quite a bit people of my ilk have to take on, Faith.
Goes ahead, nods, and continues to eat. Goes ahead and looks at you. Have you actually taken any bite?
At this point in the conversation, having made what admittedly are some assumptions drawn from a handful of facts, or even not even facts, but like hunches, maybe one or two facts, but it's like 70% hunch. Ken does in fact eat.
It is quite delicious.
As always.
Well, like I said, all I wanted to do was to make sure that you were still you, that you were still progressing on the path. Goes ahead and stands up. Goes ahead and places a hand on her shoulder with a heavy pat. Keep doing a good job.
I do have one question.
That will stop him.
How did you manage all of this shit without going completely insane?
Stops for a second. What have I done?
From what I know about you, more than enough. I don't see her get interested in things often. She's not, at least in front of me, a particularly emotional person. But certain things catch her interest and certain things just don't. But you, from what I can tell, which, let's be honest, we're operating on a lot of instincts here, you were a point of interest.
He goes ahead and nods his head. While I walked this earth, that was definitely a point of interest. I was definitely in many, many places where the weave of fate wanted me there. And as far as how to keep your own sanity, that's sort of the trick of it. Keep a proper perspective. The further you go on your path, the easier it is to sort of lose yourself in the grand scheme of things.
I hear you, man.
How is she doing?
She's all right. A lot of times she seems a lot more mature than when I first met her, and she was already pretty solid then.
That is definitely good to hear. I'm glad to hear that that you're healthy and progressing, and I'm glad to hear of her progress. There's a distinct note there. It's both confusion and disappointment, probably a bit of sadness, but more confusion than anything else. It's like something is not quite getting to the circuit.
Okay.
But afterwards, he goes ahead and pats you again on the shoulder. Don't worry about closing up. The door will lock behind you. And he leaves.
For his part, Ken finishes his meal, and in a very odd act of consideration, not even very odd, but perhaps odd given the circumstances, when he does finish up, he actually goes to the trouble of bringing the plates back to where they'd normally be collected by a dish person, something like that, and even utilizes some of the napkins, if only because he doesn't know where the cleaning products are kept, in order to wipe down the table. It's a half-assed job done with napkins, but he tried. At which point he bins the spent napkins and exits.
And true to form, after the doorbell jingles, it sets behind you, and you can hear the audible click.
Having witnessed this come into being, this small time prophecy, right? The door will click and then it clicks. Ken lights a cigarette and murmurs, "If they don't come to collect the target, I'm going back first." And then heads down the block.
Okay then. Does anyone else have anything they want to do with this scene?
Nope, think we're good.
Okay. Let's go in order. Ken, what is Ken thinking? What is Ken feeling? What is Ken doing?
Ken, for his part, has come to start thinking, having had his path brought up again, about the nature of what he's involved in. He is thinking about his place in the Brotherhood. He is thinking about his place in the Cabal. He's also thinking about his place on the road to enlightenment, the way that his magic has been presented to him. And always looming in the background is the target he mentioned, the threat presented by one lost hoodie, something he'd been made aware of a long time ago, and it managed to push back in light of a few things, but now it's there, looming a little bigger than before. And perhaps a little stronger than that, he is wondering, when will my auspicious moment strike? When will I receive a moment of den and proceed along my path?
Alright. Conrad, you're up. What you thinking? What you feeling? What you doing?
The day could probably be summarized as, well, shit, why did I get up? But that said, he hasn't died. The intern still seems to be interested in helping him, more out of pity than anything else, but hey, we all got to start somewhere. As for what he's going to do, he's going to read those books, try and pick up a little bit of subtlety, maybe learn to be a little less of an ass, but, let's not ask for miracles. And he might look into talking about taking jobs from various people, find a way to get himself some field experience. He can't always be on the back lines, doing recon, as useful as that is.
All right. Austin, you got anything?
No.
It's like, aw, I thought you were going to blow up the world this time.
No, not this time. Maybe next time.
Okay. So, while these two very down-to-earth, very much entrenched in the Telerium reality, these two mages are skirting around the eyes, or at least the attention of two others maybe a little further down the path, and maybe just drenching in the mysticism, and you can't see me, magic tricks. I like to thank the players for playing. I like to thank the watchers for watching. I see you, Shelby. I see you, Heather. I see you, third person I don't know, actually. Hope to see you guys again.